Hi guys, welcome back to another video of Life with the Words, where we talk all things marriage and military.
If you guys want to continue to see more, make sure you like and subscribe.
Yes, please hit those buttons down below for us. We would super duper appreciate it. We are back with another video for you guys.
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's been maybe 2 weeks. I think we didn't film last week, but we filmed the week before.
Okay.
So we are getting it together, y'all.
Trying.
It is Saturday. It's April 5th that we're filming this. It is pretty gloomy outside and a bit chilly, so we got our blanket. It's keeping us warm. We'd love to know how you guys are doing. If you have any plans this weekend, if it's sunshine where you guys are, because it's cloudy over here.
Raining too.
Oh yeah, it's been off and on raining. We do have Theo here with us. You guys can't see him; he's off camera. We are crossing our fingers that he will just chill out over there and take his nap since it's overcast. But we're gonna see how it goes. Like all videos, we're gonna start this one off with our woke quote. So for this week's woke quote, it reads, "When people tell me that they've learned from experience, I tell them the trick is to learn from other people's experience."
100%.
This one's interesting. Do you want to go first, my love?
Yeah, I mean that's why you have, coworkers, friends, and families that you learn from their experiences, so that way you don't have to make the same mistakes or go through the same different paths that they went down, because maybe they went into one path and it was a little bumpy and you're like, let me learn from that. So
yeah,
absolutely. Obviously you're going to go through your own experiences, but definitely picking apart other people's experiences and making your own decision is the way to go.
Absolutely. I second that. I also think that when it comes to your experience, you never know what you're going to come across more than once, right? Some experiences we have in life are only going to visit those once, but some are repeated. For example, moving through the military, which is what this video is going to be about. But with that being said, like you were saying, my love, it's good to just pick from other people's experiences. That way, if you do encounter it again, you can be better off. So I definitely agree with that. When you guys let us know down below what you think of this quote. Do you even agree with this quote? And what's your perspective? We'd love to hear from you. Okay, what are we talking about this week, my love?
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 tips for moving in the military.
Oh yes. Our civilians out there, I know you guys are going to be like, this is an interesting one, because it doesn't really apply to us, but if you are a veteran of any sort, you can probably relate to this and share some wisdom. And if you're not in the military, for our viewers who are not, it's still good to know these things, because you never know who you're going to run into, and maybe you can share our experience. So yeah,
or the video.
Yeah, or the video, exactly. So starting off, we made a little list here just to make sure that we are going in order. First things first, you want to make sure that as soon as you or your partner, if you're dual active, single active, as soon as you know that, hey, we're going to get the heck out of here. We're coming to the end of our contract and we're going to be moving. It's good to go ahead and make the connection with the person who would be in charge of all military moves. Usually you can find this person on your military base. I will preface this video by saying we are Marine Corps affiliated. We would think that it would work the same across all branches, but we can't speak for all branches.
Yeah.
So we're just speaking for the Marine Corps, but if this resides with you in a different branch, and if someone is in a different branch, please comment down below and let us know if it works the same or if it's a little bit different, because we want to help everyone and anyone we can with our videos. So back to what I was saying, definitely want to make a connection with the person who's in charge of those military moves. You can usually find this person on base, and there should be a resource center that can guide you to get the contact information of this person. When you re-enlisted is when I got in contact with this person. Yeah. I think I was a little over a year early.
She was early, but again, it's good to get in there and see them face to face and just understand who is going to be very important in helping get the ball rolling when it comes to moving.
Yeah, it can be hectic. I mean, whether you're moving through the military or civilian, it can be hectic, especially moving. Yeah, moving is moving. So you definitely just want to be as early as you can. The next thing, my love, is
Well, you got to determine which kind of move you want, right?
Yeah.
And again, for Marine Corps, there's three options, right? You have a full household goods, which essentially means is they hire a moving company and they pack up everything you own.
Everything. I do mean everything. Everything.
They'll break them down, they'll pack them up, put it on a truck, and they haul it to your next location. You have what's called a partial. That's where, excuse me, I'm under the weather a little bit. The same thing happens, but you get to choose what you move yourself, right? So if you want to put it in your personally owned vehicles, or if you want to rent a U-Haul, and maybe they take the big things, you keep the more valuable, important things with you, that's an option for you as well. And then you have a full personal move where you move everything yourself. So whether that's, you get a pod and you pack it yourself and the pod company moves it, or you get one big U-Haul and you throw it all in there and drive that sucker yourself. So you got to figure out which move is best for you and your family and your circumstances.
Yep. A big thing with these moves that's good to mention as well is the payout. So if you do a full move, meaning that you have the military move all of your things, and they're contracted with a company to do that, there's no payout. They just take care of it for you, right? There's no reason for them to pay you out because they're taking care of everything for you. If you do a partial, and again, that's meaning you take some of your things, the military takes the other. For example, this is actually the one we chose. We took the valuable things, and then all of our furniture and everything, we had the military move. They paid us out for the things that we moved, and everything is by weight. And if you want more details on that and how that breaks down, definitely comment down below or reach out to us through our social medias. That way we can give you guys more information as far as how that breaks down and point you in the right direction. But with a partial, they pay you out for what you move. And then if you move everything yourself, they essentially treat you like you're the contracted moving company, and they will pay you out what they would pay a contracted company to move you. I hope that makes sense. That's a lot of information, but if there's any questions, just drop a comment down below. I'd be more than happy to explain that a little further.
Yeah.
What's the third thing, my love?
Oh, for number 3, we rock. You got to determine whether you want to live on or off base. And you can be done before you actually get your orders and it's like, oh, it's go time. I recommend you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't do that. But yeah, you got to figure out where you're going, and if they have on-base housing. Is it good on-base housing, or should we stay out in town? Is it affordable? All these different factors you definitely want to get ahead on.
Yes.
That way you can have a place to send all your things to.
Exactly. Yeah, because they're going to ask you, where are we sending your things to? So, and they do offer storage. So if you haven't quite decided yet, and it's time for your household goods to be moved, they do have an option to store them. For us, I believe it was up to 90 days.
90 days.
Until you're able to get everything sorted. Especially with military housing, some duty stations are kind of backed up and there's a list and everything like that. So maybe you and your family will be staying in a hotel for some time, until an opening for a home opens up on base. Well, in that situation, what would happen is your household goods would just be put in storage until your home becomes available. So it's definitely important to try to think about these things ahead of time. That way you have some sort of plan. And like I always say, write your plans in pencil. That way if God has to erase them, it doesn't hurt too bad. Definitely important to think. And then some things are just based off preference, right? I know some people don't prefer to live on base. Some people strictly prefer to live out in the city, off of the base. And so that's when you would really start looking at, what is rent looking like out there, or a home owning, or whatever the case may be, and make sure it fits your financial situation. And you can start preparing for that early.
Yeah, also take a look at the housing allowance rates out there, because it's per zip code.
Yes, so that's a huge one. Did you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, right? When you have a dependent, or if you're like a single sergeant, sometimes you can get the BH, which is basic allowance for housing. And what it is they say, hey, put the zip code into the calculator, and based off that zip code, the Marine Corps has established what amount you will get for your housing allowance. So, maybe one city is different than the other. So if one's more and it's kind of the same drive to work, you want to get as much money in your pocket as you can. Not as much going, like, you can pay for your whole rent.
Exactly. Now, a huge thing to mention about the basic housing allowance, it's actually not based on where you are actually living, it's based off of where you are stationed. So, for example, you have about a 30-45 minute drive from where we're located to
That's
his
true.
actual office, but his housing allowance is based off of his office because that's technically where he's stationed.
Right.
A second thing to really consider as well is it's very important that you know that this is based off of your rank. So
Yep.
rank plays a big part in this, right? Because whether you're a civilian or a military, depending on where your stature is in your career depends on how much you get paid. So it's the same thing across the board. A sergeant's pay, staff sergeant's pay, lance corporal, it's going to be different. And then that's definitely going to be different with dependents
Yeah.
as far as that. But there's definitely, you can literally look it up online. If you guys need assistance with finding out that information, again, drop a comment or hit us up on our social medias. I can definitely send that link to you. That way you're able to look at that ahead of time as well. And I know usually PCS season, especially for the Marine Corps, it's really peak in the summers.
Spring to summer, yeah.
Because that's usually when children are out of school and everything, and it's a smoother transition. But if you guys need help with that, definitely let us know. We'd be more than happy to share some more information. What's the fourth thing, my love?
We're getting into packing.
Oh, the
Ugh.
fun part.
Ugh.
Now, if you were doing a full household goods move through the military, then you actually don't have to worry about this because
At all.
they will literally come in and not only move your things, but they pack the things so they are able to move them accordingly. Technically, if you're doing that, you're actually not allowed to pack your own goods because they are held responsible if anything was to happen to them. So they have to pack them in their own way. What are some fears with this one?
I'm sure most people have heard some horror stories
Yes.
about the packing. And unfortunately, it's because the government just goes with the cheapest contract. So these are not government employees, they're just kind of hired contractors. And, after packing, probably 6 houses in a week or whatever their schedule is, especially probably during the busy time, they probably get a little lazy and not as delicate or the smartest packing of let me put a vase with, I don't know. Anyways, but it's, that's where you're going to come in, right? And you're allowed to be there while they're packing. You can watch them and be like, hey, can you not put that with that? And don't just, I would love to say, go ahead and 100% trust them. But, these are your valuables.
Exactly.
So watch over them. We kind of split our old apartment in half and was like, hey, you take this section, I got this. And we just kind of watch them like, wrap it again. All right, appreciate it.
And if you guys have any horror stories, not to scare anybody who could be coming up on our PCS, I know we're probably going to be entering that season for a lot of military families here in a couple months here. But if you guys have had any crazy experiences, just for the fun of it, we'd love to hear about them.
Please.
So drop a comment down below because I have definitely saw some interesting ones on social media and things like that. But yes, I second you. It's definitely important to, keep your eyes on what's going on, even if they are fully moving everything. And usually you're briefed about it and they're able to tell you, what's basically going to happen in that process and so forth. But definitely don't be afraid to speak up. If something's not being packed the way you want it to,
say something.
Kindly and respectfully say something. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Our packing was it wasn't bad.
Not too bad.
It wasn't too bad. When we were packing the things that we were going to move ourselves, we were sick. We were both sick.
That was a bad time.
So it was rough, y'all.
Yeah.
I think you had RSV
and double
ear infections. I got sick right after he got sick, so the whole drive I was sick, and we had 2 vehicles and we drove them, so it was
it was something.
It was the grace of God that kept us and got us all the way here safe and sound, so we're very grateful for that.
Yeah, which speaking of, driving, the last one we have is the traveling part, right? Making that plan, like for us, we drove 16 hours from Arizona to where we are now. And we plotted it out. Hey, we're going to stop here, fill up, stop here, fill up. We had a stop for resting, which I rested. She just didn't, and she powered through, which was insane to see. But yeah, you gotta, like everything else in the movie, you gotta plan, you gotta prepare.
Yeah. The earlier the better. I know a huge
Yeah.
thing with the military is hurry up and wait. So sometimes there's just information that you don't have. And that's why it's very important to make sure that you have a support system and people that you're going to be working with who can understand that. For example, if you're wanting a home, getting a real estate agent who can understand that situation is important, and things like that. So hard dates sometimes are, if you're needing a hard date on something, I would hold off in that instance, because sometimes you don't get it for a while, and it just depends on your spouse, or if you're the active duty member. It's definitely going to depend on if you have any trainings before you're going to move, or if it's just I'm staying in the same job and I'm just moving from one place to another. I know with the Marine Corps, usually typically you're able to find out that information sooner.
A lot more in advance.
Yeah.
Ours was last minute because I had to go to schooling before I started this, so I was at schooling, trying to figure this out with her, and then talk to a real estate agent here. So it was
long distance.
A lot of
everything,
phone calls,
a lot of phone calls.
And it's like, oh, you got to finish your training before we can give you that answer. And it's like,
yeah. So we had to work around a lot, but the best thing that worked for us is just being in communication with each other
and being early.
Yes, and practicing patience. I'm a pretty early person, so if there's some things that I can get done early, and like I said, if you can't. If you know that you want a house and you don't want to be on the military base, then you can start really thinking about what kind of house do you want? How many bedrooms do you want? How many bathrooms? Even if you don't know the area yet. If you know that you want to do a partial move instead of a full move, go ahead and start, deciding these are the things the military is going to move, and these are the things that they can take. So there's definitely things that you can do to be proactive when it comes 100%. To moving your permanent duty station.
I think that's the word for it, is to be proactive in every part of it.
As much as you can. As much as you can, give yourself grace, because it will be frustrating with the information you don't have. But if you guys are needing tips on certain situations that come up, please let us know, reach out to us, and we will help to the best of our ability. And if we don't have the answers, we'll find someone who does. And again, we will say this could work different for different branches. This is our experience with the Marine Corps.
Which was not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Not bad.
And that was our first one, y'all.
Yeah.
That was our first one. So this is all the information we gathered from our first one. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, as we continue through the journey of this career of yours, we're definitely going to get more experience and probably learn more things along the way.
Learn how to get more money out of it. That's what I want to learn.
Yeah. Do we have any more tips? Was that 5?
That's 5.
That's 5, guys. So if you have any questions for us, we can't stress that enough. Reach out to us. Like we've always said, this channel is to educate and help young couples, military couples, and all that in between. So if you guys need anything, always reach out. Do we have anything else, my love?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Well, guys, we are super duper excited to be back with another video. And we will, God willing, be back with another one very soon. But for now, we'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.